Hey guys, it is Kevin here, and as you can tell from my surroundings, and it's windy, sorry about that, I'm not in China right now. I'm not in Shenzhen, China, so I want to give you guys an update. It's kind of a little life update, what I'm up to, where I am at. It is October. I'm going to put this video right up after I shoot it, and I'm in Canada. I'm in Eastern Ontario, Canada, and I got here on Tuesday night, or actually early morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. And it's Saturday right now, and the reason why I came back to Canada is, unfortunately and sadly, my father passed away on Monday. My father died, and I got the call on the weekend to try to get home as fast as I could, and I tried, and I didn't make it. I tried to get home in time to see him go, but you know, it's a long trip, so I wasn't able to do it. But here I am, staying with family. And my father, he struggled with his health for the last year. A lot of unfortunate circumstances, a lot of bad luck, but he was in tough shape, and it was hard to watch him in that state. So, you know, he finally has some relief from everything that happened. And yeah, so I'm here in Canada now. And one thing, I'm going to be leaving in a few days, heading back to China to my family. But we have a very large, loving, supportive family here in Canada, and where my kids are in Shenzhen right now, I work at a very loving, supporting school, and they've been supporting me throughout my time here, and they've been taking care of my wife and my kids and making sure that they're listened to and they're taken care of and all this stuff. So that's good. Positives coming out of the negative. One thing I've been thinking a lot about in this time, the last few weeks, because really my father FaceTimed me to say his final farewells really a couple of weeks ago before they intubated him, and I knew then that the writing was on the wall. My father was a very humble man who spent his life working for Parks Canada, the National Park Service, and he was a historian and a researcher and a manager, but he was very passionate about recording local history. We lived in a small town called Lewisburg in Cape Breton Island in Nova Scotia. And in his off time, he would do lots of research about the local fire department, about the local Catholic church, about the street names of the town, and other things. And he wrote books, and he wrote things called the Heritage Notes, which were these 4-page historical kind of essay things that once a month or a few times a year would go in the local newspaper. Now, those were written in the 1990s, early 2000s, and they were very kind of niche and small town history. But for some people, for a lot of people in those small towns, it's very important stuff. And it's really important that people keep historical records of things to know where they've come from and where the roots are. So I made it an effort in the last few weeks to create a website called o'sheaarchives.org, and I started digitizing all of my father's work, and this is kind of like a legacy project, and I've been really busy doing this, to digitize the writing my father did and to put it up there in digital form. There's PDFs available of all the stuff he's been doing. I don't have it all up there yet, but I'm working on it. On that site, and I plan on putting his stuff on the Kindle store and this and that, and it makes me think about documenting history and how, for example, you know, think of Japan, right? Japan has got a major demographic crisis, a population crisis. You know, there are small villages all around Japan that are just disappearing like that, left and right. And I wonder how many of those, and I'm sure there are some, have lost their history, they've lost their stories. I mean, once upon a time, they were vibrant little maybe farming communities, and they had great, you know, harvest mat cities, and, you know, maybe that's all gone now. You know, who owned this shop that was there? You know, I used to watch these videos by a guy named Softy Papa, Kurt Bell. And when he lived in Japan years ago, he would have these incredible journeys through the forests of Shizuoka, where he would discover like abandoned villages. And he would see these in the middle of the forest, what once was a community, and it's gone. And I wonder, did people record those histories of what happened? Who lived there? What did they do? What kind of jobs did they have? What kind of festivals did they have? What kind of shops? What kind of shrine? So I think that it's got me thinking a lot, because my father's passion in life was history and documenting that, and I'm trying to carry on his legacy just by putting those books, because he would publish these books, maybe 300 books, and they would go out into the community. When you think about it, say 1990, he made one about Lewisburg street names. 300 of those went out, and most of the people who got those books and took those books and wanted those books were older than I am, probably in their 50s and 60s at the time. It's 30 years ago. So a lot of those people who had those books have passed on, and those books were maybe thrown away or just linger in a box in an attic or in a basement. So I wanted to put that out there, and I've gotten some really wonderful feedback. One book, my dad wrote the history of the Lewisburg Fire Department in 1995, and when I put that digital version up there on his site, o'sheaarchives.org, immediately people on Facebook from the community thanked me for making that available. So I'm not a historian, I'm not a researcher, but I have the ability to put my father's legacy online. So that's what I'm doing. And it is called O'Shea Archives. So one day, maybe I will be interested in researching and collecting things. Now, what is really wonderful is I do have a cousin who's a bit younger than me, who has a passion for recording history and researching, and that's wonderful because I think every generation needs someone in their family who is passionate about genealogy, about history, to record the stories of the family, and so others can learn where the family came from. And yeah, so that's what I've been up to, guys. So check the link below, see what I've been up to. It's called o'sheaarchives.org. I've been getting a lot of amazing support. A group of colleagues from my former school in Beijing collected some money, put it together, sent it to my new school. They wanted me to do something in memorial of my father. I'm creating a wild garden there. My father was an avid birder. He loved to be outdoors. So I'm thinking of getting a custom-made, really nice big platform bird feeder with maybe a little memorial plaque on it for my dad. I've contacted a university in Canada. I'm going to try to put forward, I'm going to organize and get a bursary made in my father's name, maybe something like the William A. O'Shea Bursary for Historical Studies or Cape Breton Studies or something like that. A yearly bursary for a student who has passion about history and research and collecting stories. But yeah, so I got to make some more videos coming up soon of me in China with my kids. And I guess in the way there I'm collecting a historical record, because I love to look through the years, back through the years of YouTube videos I made and see my family when they were younger and when I was younger and the things we've been up to and gone through. But yeah, so guys, take care. Thank you so much for always supporting me and being there for me. And I'm finding my catharsis by researching and putting together the site. It's one of my son's friends yelling to me. Alright guys, so take care. Again, check that link below.